Hey there, West Michigan meteorologist Will Haney here. It is Saturday night at about 8:20 and coming to you live for a little bit of a severe weather update. We have some football on our airwaves. Otherwise, I would be doing a quick cut in, but this is mainly up towards Ottawa, Kent counties. Severe thunderstorm warnings just issued by the National Weather Service that are going to go through almost towards the end of the hour. So let me just give you a look at what's happening really quickly across the area. We were dealing with a little bit of a radar outage at Grand Rapids. There's two radars we utilize here in West Michigan. One is in Grand Rapids at the airport. The other one is in northern Indiana. The northern Indiana radar was still providing data, but the one in Grand Rapids was out for a little bit. So that's why there's that little lag in some of the radar data within the last hour. It just came online. What we're focused on, though, is these storms that are lifting into Ottawa and Kent counties. So there are two different severe thunderstorms that I'll highlight. The first one that was issued was this one for Ottawa County for a storm that is just pushing into the southern part of the county. It is crossing I-196 pretty much as we speak. The other severe thunderstorm warning, as I pan this over, you'll see it update here, is for portions of northeastern Allegan County, right in the Door area right now, pushing into southwestern Kent County. Both of these storms are severe warned for, I believe, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I can provide an update there really quickly. I'm actually kind of getting this information in. This warning popped right as I was running up here. So yeah, this is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and they're not even mentioning any potential hail. What I'm going to do is switch this over to our velocity, which is, again, kind of getting a gauge on wind speeds. And these were what prompted this warning. I'll freeze frame this. These brighter greens that you see there that just kind of blew into the Door area, perhaps the Hudsonville area, that line of some brighter green that you see there crossing M6 near Byron Center, for example. That's some of our best shot at about 60 mile per hour winds. It has, I think, come down a little bit. I was looking at a different radar product here. Yeah, I would say from Door up to Byron Center right now is our best shot at some pretty strong winds. The wind looks even a little less impressive in Hudsonville, but Wyoming, Cutlerville, Kentwood in Kent County, all those locations, you're going to have a pretty strong line of wind that comes through with these storms. Elsewhere, these are the only two severe thunderstorms that we have. We have had a few strong storms this evening with gusts up to about 60 miles per hour or gusts up to about 40 miles per hour. And we've also had a few reports of pea to nickel size hail. So we're talking like up to about a half an inch. And you can just see just overall, there is some thunder right now, some lightning in and around Kalamazoo, particularly right downtown and on the north side right now. But just at a quick glance, you can even tell that cell is nowhere near as impressive as these storms a bit farther north, just indicated there by those darker reds, a lot more lightning. And again, just the potential for some gustier winds. This wasn't fully anticipated, I'm not going to lie, by me even. I was expecting some stronger storms, but when this warning popped, cells had kind of started to come down in their intensity a little bit, and then this one kind of flared back up. And so it is, again, capable of 60-mile-an-hour winds. That's the main concern. Right now, pushing into the Cutlerville area. Grand Rapids is not technically maybe the very southern portion of downtown GR is included in that warning, but downtown proper is not in that warning yet. And we'll have to see if they extend any of these warnings. But all the way up to Allendale in Ottawa County, you're in the warning, and probably anyone in Allendale probably just felt those strong winds going through. But yeah, general rule here, these are just severe thunderstorm warnings, but I still want you to take them seriously. Just stay away from windows, especially if you have more mature trees in or on your property. But yeah, I'm going to switch this back over to our velocity view just to give you an idea. Again, we're looking at some of just where the brighter contrast of green and red is, but the brighter greens just indicate stronger wind. So you can see kind of that main line that I'm talking about, the gust front, if you will, pushing towards Kentwood right now, just crossed M6 all the way up to about M45 west of GR. So this is that main best potential for the strongest winds is that kind of cutoff right there of some brighter greens. So again, just stay safe there up there this evening, and just best to wait these out inside, away from windows. Those are our only 2 warnings right now. This cell in Kalamazoo could maybe have some like 30, 40 mile an hour winds, if that. Right now, pushing into Cooper Township on the north side. I was just out there a few days ago. So Parchment might be seeing some rain, and I can actually show you. Yeah, so that's showing velocity of 35 miles per hour. That does account for somewhat of storm motion. So yeah, maybe gusts up to like 30, 40 miles an hour at best within that little cell on the north part of Kalamazoo up into Cooper Township. But that's, again, not quite as impressive as these storms a bit farther north. But I will say there was a pretty convincing pocket of pretty strong wind that went right through Dorr in northeastern Allegheny County. And things weakened pretty quickly thereafter. I will say there's still likely some gusty winds and torrential rain up in Byron Center, for example, pushing towards Kentwood and Wyoming as we speak. But if there was anyone that had, if I wasn't shocked, I wouldn't be shocked if we had at least a little bit of damage in the Dorr area, just based on what I saw on radar a little bit ago. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here. So Dorr is right in the center of the screen right there. And Dorr is certainly still getting some very heavy rain, but it was right about here that we had the best potential, or no, what time was that? Let me go back through a few scans. Right about there. That would have been about 15 minutes ago. So that bright green pocket that you see right there on the southwest side of Dorr, that would be the most convincing area to me that we might have had some 60 mile per hour wind gusts. And watch, so the brighter colors, that bright green starts to weaken a little bit. You see kind of how it goes away there just a few scans later. So that could have been some sort of like a downburst. A downburst is basically like a big area of rain, cooled air, and very heavy rain in a thunderstorm. As thunderstorms start to sometimes weaken or collapse, it's like a big core of cold air, which is higher density as well than the warm air maybe below. So you basically get this like big high density air mass like surging out from the base of a thunderstorm. And so that's sometimes referred to as a downburst. I think that could have been what we just saw there between Hilliard's and Dorr. That would have been like 15 minutes ago. So I'll check really quick the Consumers Energy outage map just to see. But these storms, by the way, I was looking at some of them a bit earlier. I might be able to pull one up. Let's see how quickly I can do this in the background. I'm doing a couple different things. Come on. What are you doing? Why are you not working? Maybe our Grand Rapids camera took a hit or something. Hold on. I was trying to pull up our Grand Rapids camera. Yeah, if you're in Kentwood, Heather, yeah, it's about to blow through. Just stay inside, and you know the drill. Just stay inside, stay away from windows, Heather. Heather Timmer, if you're watching, because that leading edge of the strongest wind is going to go through your area pretty shortly. So, but I don't know if it'll be 60 mile per hour wind gusts. What the heck, man? That's a bummer. I don't know what's going on with our... What? That's frustrating. Wonder if there's an outage. That would be weird. Also, I don't normally wear glasses, but I'm wearing some blue light glasses. Mostly as a placebo. Just kidding. No, I had a migraine earlier, so no fun. All right, let's see. Yeah, no outages that I can really see anything too significant. It looks like there's an outage affecting almost 1,000 folks in the Fenville area, actually. So that could have been from a storm earlier. Also near a little north of Saugatuck, there's another one that's affecting about 500 folks. So overall, in the grand scheme, pretty small amount of outages. Here, I'll show you guys really quick. Let's see. Why am I talking about it when I could be showing you? Okay, so here's the handy dandy Consumers Energy outage map. These are the two I was talking about by my cursor. So this is one near Fenville. This is one north of Saugatuck, between Saugatuck and Holland, just off US 31. That's the one we're looking at there. Pulled up 408 customers, and then this one is about 960. So that's pretty large. That's most of Fenville there on the west side of Fenville. Looks like a very small one near Allegan, but the area of interest for me was going to be right about here, where my cursor is. I'm not sure what lake that is. It's a pretty small lake. Oh, there's Sandy Pines. Okay. Yeah, so Sandy Pines probably had some pretty strong winds go through, if anyone's familiar with the Sandy Pines Resort. So we have some friends that have a place there, so I'll have to see what they're reporting. They might be there too, since it's the weekend. All right, let me flip this back over to radar we'll do a quick roundup of what's going on. Still some decent strong winds though there in southwestern Kent County. That's our main, I would say that's our main warning. The Ottawa warning still want you to take seriously, but the wind has come down quite a bit on that cell. Might be down to like 40, 50 now, in my opinion, and that's not looking quite as impressive to me. But I'll get another look at it just to see. Yeah, I mean, just look for the brighter colors that you see. Again, the stronger the winds. So clearly here that when I freeze frame the radar, that brighter green that you're seeing there in like Gaines Township on the south side of GR, including that would be like the Wyoming area. That's where we have the strongest winds right now. Kentwood, whoever that was, I forget your name. I'm sorry. Byron Center for sure right now. Probably some decently strong winds. I'm going to turn off the warning information just really quickly. I should be able to. Let's see if I did that right. Nope. I clicked on the actual street. I don't want that. What? What the heck? It's being very particular. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can get. Okay, yeah. So that's still pegging some 50 mile per hour winds. And that is pretty close to the radar. So that's probably pretty accurate. Kel's Sosa asking about Kalamazoo. We do have a storm on the north side of Kalamazoo, but it's not severe. And I don't expect it to be severe anytime super soon. This storm kind of, I won't say came out of nowhere because it definitely didn't. It just flared up out of nowhere. It kind of intensified a little bit. So again, it's this pocket right here. Here's Grand Rapids. This is on the south and southwest side of Grand Rapids Metro, the Byron Center area up towards Kentwood. This is a potential for some 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. I'm not seeing any big outages cropping up now on the consumers outage map. It looks like one new one. I'm not as familiar with where that is. Man, a little south of Allendale and a little west of Hudsonville, there's a new outage, but that one's about 400 customers. So we have like three larger-ish outages, and then just maybe a half dozen very small ones. So nothing major. Hopefully crews can get to those pretty quickly. But let me get a view for the rest of us of what's going on. So we've had storms mostly in some of our lakeshore counties since about, 3:34 in the afternoon. We first started seeing these storms kind of lifting through some of our lakeshore counties. And now they've all kind of congealed into this area of rain and storms. It's mainly through Kalamazoo, Allegan counties, still ongoing though in Van Buren County. Basically though, the best ingredients for storms is still going to be right up here. Up down here, we still may see some scattered thunderstorms, but it's not going to be overly impressive. This area is generally worked over, meaning the atmosphere has kind of like tapped into some of the better ingredients for storms. Again, it's not to say we won't see some thunder or lightning, but it's just, I don't think we're going to see anything severe. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if we see this fizzle out here fairly quickly. But yeah, so someone was asking about Kalamazoo. There are some storms that just pushed through the north side of Kalamazoo through Cooper Township. Those are going to be tracking for Otsego and Plainwell. It's probably raining there now, and I can give you an idea of that. The Gun Plain area, eventually up towards Gun Lake and Orangeville, you'll probably get a little bit of this rain. And this is going to kind of be the nature of tonight. We're going to see additional showers and thunderstorms. Storm motion so far tonight has pretty much been to the north, but it's going to start to shift a little bit more. So here, let me give a little better visual. So far, storm motion has been pretty much storms lifting in from south to north. They're going to start to take a little bit more of this orientation, though, into the overnight. So if you've been farther east and watching some of these storms on radar and like, oh, come inch my way, I think that will happen later on. But yeah, Carla's saying 0.02 of an inch in West Portage, so not that impressive in West Portage. I think there's still some opportunities into the overnight, but it is going to be pretty spotty. This isn't going to be like an all-night, overnight rain by any means. But what I can do really quickly on the topic of rain, I don't know if anyone gets migraines, but my neck has still got like the migraine neck. I get weird like stiff neck after a migraine. Anyways, radar estimated rainfall. You can see the areas that saw some more impressive rain. This will probably update a little bit more because there's certainly been some heavy rain through Allegan counties up into Kent and here we go. It's just lagging. So yeah, some very beneficial rain for portions of Cass County and Van Buren County so far. And there's a little bit of a delay here, but we'll probably, by the time our 10 o'clock news rolls around on the ARC, there it goes. It just updated a little bit more even. So these pockets of like lime green, it's probably easily over an inch of rain that came down pretty quickly. So that's radar estimates. It's not necessarily a guarantee, but I mean, the radar is estimating some pockets of 1.5 inches, 2 inches plus. That's going to be very, very spotty. But yeah, so this is really good to see as well, because if there's anyone that needs the rain a little bit more, I mean, we all could use the rain. I'm not trying to make it about who can have it versus who can't, but I will say the area of now severe drought in our area is right about here, especially from Holland up towards the southwest side of Grand Rapids. There is and that's probably even too narrow. It's probably right about here. Hey, my wife just got home. It's probably right about there. That area is some of the driest in our region right now. So for them to get an inch or two of rain, it's not going to alleviate the drought entirely, but it certainly helps put a little dent in it. And it's moving in the right direction for sure. So yeah, Hudsonville got some good rain tonight for sure. Let me switch it back to radar. I was going to say, Carla, 0.02 of an inch sounded pretty light, but I agree. Yeah, that makes more sense, which is helpful for me too, because that gives me an idea of what I might have got at my house. But all right, so again, if you're just joining us, it looks like the severe thunderstorm warning is still ongoing for Kent counties through 8:45. So we got just 4 more minutes of that. My garage door just closed. And looks like if they haven't extended the warning now, they're unlikely to at this point. I can confirm that, but I think we're just minutes away from being warning free. Let me hop on here and just check. Yeah, National Weather Service also talking about just a few isolated outages in Ottawa County. Oh man, can't really show this video, I don't think, but a storm spotter for National Weather Service that I can't play the video for some reason. Had video of the storm from Sandy Pines that worked its way towards Dorr that we were talking about. Yeah, it looks like I'm just scanning through some stuff. There was hail in Allendale, which is in Ottawa County, of 0.5 inch, which is on par with what we've seen so far today. Let me flip this back over to show you some storm reports, because there are a few. So we have the Ottawa warning that goes through 8:45, and then we have this Kent County warning that goes through 8:45. And again, I think it's fairly likely we see both of those allowed to expire. In other words, I don't expect them to extend those. And you can even see it there. So within the last hour, those brighter colors of green, those 50, 60 mile per hour gusts perhaps started to kind of weaken a little bit. There's still probably some 40 mile an hour gusts. It's still a pretty impressive storm if you're in that right now, raining really hard, some thunder, some lightning, but it's not quite severe grade. And as we look off to the south, it's a similar little pocket of wind that just went through Gun Plain area, but not severe. It's going to go through Martin, possibly Orangeville. You'll probably feel the wind pick up and eventually Shelbyville, the Yankee Springs area, Gun Lake, if that maintains its strength. So that's the cell I'm talking about. Again, nowhere near as impressive as what's farther north, but generally speaking, we're going to see some of this rain begin to pivot a bit farther east into the overnight. We're already seeing it kind of inch a little farther east than it was a few hours ago. And that theme is going to hold into the overnight. If we're looking ahead to tomorrow as well, which I will highlight just momentarily, tomorrow presents another chance of a limited severe thunderstorm or two. It's a level 1 risk for tomorrow for severe thunderstorms. So basically an isolated strong to severe storm is possible. Pretty much all of our area, just be on guard. But in the afternoon, it would be very similar to the storms that we're having right now. I think mid to late afternoon through the early to mid evening would be the most likely time frame for some of these storms. And the main threat would be damaging wind gusts up to about 60 miles per hour. So similar to the severe thunderstorms that are out there right now. And then storms would also produce, shocker, some heavy rain there as well. And yeah, Rocky, I hopped on Facebook a little early because we had those severe thunderstorm warnings. So I wanted to, wanted to give everyone the heads up. Jesse, I think there will be some more storms, but probably should be done with the severe storms after these warnings expire. I think I'd be pretty surprised if we had any additional severe thunderstorm warnings issued tonight. I still think we could see a few, maybe 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts. And Chris saying that Granville has a severe thunderstorm that was just allowed to expire, and they extended things with a special weather statement, meaning, hey, this is still a strong storm, but it's not quite severe. So that's what that special weather statement is through 9 p.m. That's for gusts up to 45 miles per hour. So again, not quite severe. A special weather statement from the National Weather Service is kind of like a elevated heads up, but not quite a severe thunderstorm warning where you're going to see potential damage necessarily. I guess you could see some very, very minor damage in a 45 mile per hour wind gust, but not quite to the level that gets a warning, which is 58 miles per hour or around 60 miles per hour or stronger. So that's what's going on. And we're going to see some more of this through tomorrow. As mentioned, we'll see more showers and storms overnight tonight. I can give you kind of an idea. We'll go hour by hour. It's doing a decent job. Showing most storm activity hanging out farther north. But notice how some showers kind of fill back into the overnight early tomorrow. This is 7 a.m. tomorrow. So some of you may have some showers, maybe even a few claps of thunder early. I think we'll see that wave move through. Then we'll watch for some additional development late afternoon, evening, which you see there. It doesn't look overly impressive here, but 1 or 2 strong to severe storms not off the table for tomorrow. This model isn't looking overly impressive. And we'll kind of keep those storms around through late. Again, tomorrow, I don't want you to be stressed about it, but very, very low risk of some severe weather. Beyond tomorrow as well, it looks like we'll see some more shower and storm activity linger into Monday, and then spottier stuff beyond that. But I wouldn't even call, even though it is likely that we see some showers and storms tomorrow. Oh man, I forgot my water. I don't think it's going to be a washout. There will be some times where it's, if you need to do something real quick in the garden or something, you can kind of dodge some of these raindrops. I think it's a similar story on Monday. Rain on Tuesday would be primarily a morning deal. And yeah, Rocky, nothing severe for Kalamazoo. The severe thunderstorm warnings have expired as well. So that's good news. And seems we escaped pretty unscathed. Only a handful of outages in Ottawa County right now. And the biggest one is in the Fenville area. It looks like on the west side of Fenville. Almost 1,000 consumers without power right now. Another little cell, though, going up, looks like near Dowagiac, which has seen several rounds today of heavy rain in Cass County. So just kind of funny. The storms just keep forming off to the southwest, going through Dowagiac, Sister Lakes area, up towards Lawrence. So Lawrence has had some beneficial rain. South Haven has had some beneficial rain, which we're happy to see. Again, any rain right now is super needed, pretty much across all of our area. All these pockets of green that you see there are those winners today that might have seen over an inch of rain. And maybe in some cases, I wouldn't be shocked if, like down in Dowagiac, if this updates, if there's some areas that saw over 2 inches. And I don't know if I'll have updated rainfall reports tonight, but Colin for sure will tomorrow morning. So that's going to do it. It's also going to be cooler. I'll highlight that coming up at 10 and 11. I got to go finalize the forecast, though. And yeah, so today we still were in the 80s. That was probably the last time we'll see the 80s for quite a while. I don't really expect any more 80s anytime super soon. But I'm writing down, by the way, some of this forecast stuff as I talk. But you can see we do cool down quite a bit into the coming week. We're going to be back into the 50s for morning lows and 70s for afternoon highs, which is a welcome change. And as I was doing that, I wrote it in the wrong spot from where I wanted to. So that was great. That's why I can't multitask. If you're curious, this is what my forecasting sheet. I didn't like that. This is what my forecasting sheet looks like. For some reason, the camera thinks it's the green screen. What the heck? There we go. It's top secret information, everybody. That's Will's forecasting sheet. Compliments to my former chief meteorologist, Zach Paul in mid-Missouri. Fun fact. But yeah, we put the forecast together. This is some data that just gets pulled into a spreadsheet. I write down the previous forecast, and then I look at a bunch of weather models. I take a bunch of notes, and then I'm going to write down our forecast and put it all into our system, and then make a bunch of graphics. So after some football tonight on CBS, tune in, or ARC West Michigan at 10. Appreciate all of you. Stay safe. Again, nothing really major to worry about with these storms tonight or really tomorrow either, but we'll watch for maybe 1 or 2 strong to severe storms tomorrow as well, but hopefully nothing too crazy. All right, take care, and again, we still have those storms mainly in the Grand Rapids area right now, pushing on the north side as we speak, which could produce some 45-mile-per-hour gusts, and that looks like probably the strongest right now, and we'll watch those cells in Dowagiac too. But I think that should do it for our severe storm threat for the night, and we'll continue to keep you updated if we see anything pop up that looks a little bit more impressive. All right. Bye, everybody. I'll wrap this up.